Hi, this is my favorite part of the show, the Roundtable. I don't care if someone else doesn't like that or thinks I'm denigrating them, because I'm not here for them. It's all about me. So I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you. So deal with it. Issue 1, political correctness takes a hit. University of Chicago President Zimmerman said there will be no safe spaces.
You can't say anything.
Safe space.
Safe spaces or trigger warnings.
Trigger warning. And everything's open for discussion, and speakers of all different ilks, conservative, liberal beliefs will be invited. Comment, Kurt.
You didn't explain the premise well enough.
Yeah.
It's about political correctness on campus. You know, you need to, this is a TV show where just the listeners are not mind readers. So why don't you explain fully the concept?
Tell us more, Adam.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, political correctness has become a major problem that, unfortunately, so-called liberal professors, I don't call them illiberal, don't deal with it, take seriously. That is the chilling of speech, trigger warnings where people, they don't want to read anything or they might disturb them. Like, if you study law, you have to hear about rape cases, something like that. And they want safe spaces where they can be safe from anything, from anything.
So the school out in Chicago is
the University of Chicago.
Screw all that.
Finally, someone is standing up, at least a prestigious, famous school. Comment, Raya.
Comment, Vivian.
Okay, well, you asked me, I'm going to tell you. When I went to school, we studied everything, even if it was upsetting. And there were no safe spaces where our feelings had to be spared. In fact, when I was in college, the concept of literally safe spaces where your body integrity might be kept safe was just starting to happen. And I was talking to a friend about it today. We were talking about how at the University of Pennsylvania in the early 80s, they were installing panic buttons in the ladies' rooms because there were some rapes on campus in the early 80s. That was just starting to be a thing. Just the beginning of not blaming the victims for actually having to walk back from the library at night and starting to say, hey, maybe we should keep female students safe.
Well, that's legitimate.
That's legitimate. That's something whose time had come and passed by the time it started to be addressed as a problem in the 80s when I was a student. But today, that concept, I think, has really been carried too far, where students are have either asked for or have just been preemptively given the right to not even have to think about things that are upsetting. So literature that we used to study has been taken off curricula for the idea that it might be upsetting. We might be upset to read about children being molested or people of different races being treated badly. So those things are no longer studied. Paintings, famous paintings that depict horrible things being done
they don't want to
have been taken off the art history curriculum.
Right.
Different books that have gruesome stories in them have been taken off literature curricula. So I think that the University of Chicago is responding by saying, this is enough already. If these kids want to be considered grown men and women, they have to man and woman up.
Right.
Yep.
And they have to be able to face the music. We are not going to rewrite history for them. They have to face history, they have to learn it, they have to process it, they have to read it, they have to write about it. And then they can decide for themselves how they are going to, enter the grown world.
I know why a lot of this started, though. For maybe in the late '60s, places like Princeton had to address almost like a PR move to address the bigotry, or maybe the bias, or just the unintentional of not including different subjects, women, minorities. So they threw these academic disciplines together, women's studies, with really no rigorous approach to scholarly input about or how the curriculum is going to be. And they were taken over, I think, by people who were zealots or they wanted power. And then you get these kids who've been raised by helicopter parents, it seems, and raised on like this thing about everything has to be neutral and we have to have a safe space. And it's a toxic poison. And I blame also universities for not addressing it. And I think one thing is, too, they're competing for students so much. They want, like, the customer's always right. We want you to be happy. Come to our school. Pay the $50,000 tuition and stuff. But it is time for uncultivated, especially professors. Some of them are neurotic idiots with no basic culture in Western art, deciding the curriculum just based on them being offended.
So you're voting for Trump?
No. and stuff. So hopefully some common sense will come back. And God, I mean, when the 60s started, it was to challenge, orthodox thinking. It was to challenge, ways of life. And now it's more about suppressing it.
One thing that I've noticed in my lifetime is that history has been rewritten. Things that were facts when I was a child are now not facts anymore.
Like what?
Well, I mean, we can get into it, but historical facts.
Give us one. We have
the history of the state of Israel. We're going to get into that now. It's going to blow up.
In 2 minutes, give us the entire history of Israel.
No, but what do you think is being? What do you think is grossly misrepresented?
That's my pet project. But I can't think of one right now. Besides that might be a less of a hot spot.
So you're lying.
No, I said I can't think of one that
it's just not a good example right now. We don't have time.
In 2 minutes, in 1 minute.
Yes, but it's true. Everything's and people use it as leverage. They think by saying that you're being immoral, racist, it can shut you up.
Yeah.
Instead of
but like a lot. But anything, anything that you can think of, probably has something that has been flipped around and changed to further somebody's political agenda.
Right.
Okay, Vivian, give us one example of anything.
Oh my goodness.
Just anything.
See what it's like to be
Just
tired?
anything, right?
We should have. Well,
I'm making you think.
No, you're.
See, this isn't a safe space. You have to think here.
That's good. That's very true.
That is true.
And that's what Kurt is doing, making you uncomfortable so that you can think.
I can make you very uncomfortable.
So we need those. We don't need those safe spaces.
Yes.
Okay, no safe space here.
No safe space here, but we have a time pressure.
And it's over
so it's
right
hard
now.
to think
Over
of.
right now.
Time. Oh, it's collapsing in on me.
I'll think of one for next time.
Okay.
I'll think of 10 for next time.
Okay, that's your homework assignment.
We're done.
Go home to your safe space.
Oh God.